Hey everyone, gonna be going live here for about an hour, just talking about Q3. Let's finish out the year strong here. Like we're gonna be doing some really good stuff. I'm excited to finish this year strong with y'all. We're just gonna be doing kind of an open kind of Q&A style event here. So like if you are interested in yapping away and asking me any questions about whatever you want to talk about, data engineering, data science, whatever you want to talk about, I'm here. I'm an open book for about the next hour or so. So definitely I'm excited to kind of share my knowledge with everyone and see what we can accomplish together, because Q3 was freaking really strong, and we are going to be going and marching forward in time as we freaking kind of really scarily enter to we're about to go into 2026, right? That's freaking really crazy. So yeah, I'm here for about an hour. So if you guys have any questions, any thoughts, whatever you guys want to talk about, I'm here to answer y'all's questions. Like it should be a good time. Like I'm curious, because it's like I'm gonna be releasing an AI bootcamp. It starts in like 3 weeks. Should be pretty good. Like it's gonna cover 5 end-to-end projects. We're gonna be building like a resume reviewer. It's gonna be really sick. Like we're gonna like literally like build an app that like you upload your resume and then it will give you feedback on your resume. Like we're going to be building all sorts of interesting like SaaS products in the app, right? Or in the boot camp. It's going to be very intense and very amazing. Like, and so I'm really excited to like build on that. Like, and I'm going to be teaching all the classes. Like I'm going to be teaching all the classes because I realized I need to like really like level up myself in AI. And I know that like if I teach all the classes, it's going to really enable me to really push and really grow and like become more literate in this AI space myself. And so it should be pretty great. Yeah, what's up, Lubo? When will you start your DE bootcamp? The next paid DE bootcamp starts on January 2nd. January 2nd. Should be great. That one's going to be in person as well. You can do it on either way, in person or online. That one will be great. That one's a long one. So you can do Snowflake starts on January 2nd, and then Databricks will start like second week of February, like February 9th or so. Right. So that will be the way to do it. How are you managing Google ad grants? I don't use Google ads at all. I make all my money from organic content. So I do not use Google ads at all. Like Google ads, they're freaking like I could make more money there, right? What's the most exciting new AI model you have worked on or seen? I like Opus. Claude Opus is amazing. Like every time I like plug in Opus and then I just slap in a little prompt and I'm like, fix my bullshit app. And like that's the prompt I give it, and then like it works. And it's like, well, I guess we don't need software engineers anymore. We're cooked, right? I don't know. But like Opus is also really expensive. So like I've found that like it's kind of like a mix of the two, right? You don't want to like you kind of want to kind of ebb and flow with it. You want to be a little bit more stuff like that. But I don't know. Anthropic is crushing it. Anthropic is definitely the winner in my opinion. Like OpenAI is kind of like teetering. It's teetering, right? Because it's like what are they doing? That's like, I mean I use OpenAI for like my therapy, right? Whenever I'll do that stuff, but like I'll be good. Will you teach Azure DE? Like I mean maybe, right? Uh, is this worth investing my money and time on it? Yes. If you want to learn the AI bootcamp and freaking do that, Lubo, hit me up on LinkedIn and I can get you. I can get you in. Like let's talk. You're amazing. Like we'll figure something out. How do you use AI agents to boost your productivity? Mostly Claude Code. Claude Code is the main thing that I use right now, because it's like Claude Code. It makes me able to like build features in like 1/10 the time, right? Where it was like I know I built out the scholarship application page for Data Expert, and I built that out with like a single prompt, and that would have taken me. I would have had to write like 1,000 lines of JavaScript to like actually deliver that code, but instead I wrote 1 line of English, and I got what I needed. And so like that's really cool. I think that that's like my main way of doing things right now, is that's the way I do AI agents. I also use AI agents a little bit to do cold outreach, to like email people who might be interested in my boot camp, because that's another really good place, because it's like crafting a cold email is such a bitch. And like that's one of the things that AI can do much better than me, right? Hey Zach, to become a better data engineer, should we be a pro in Python, or should we be good with data concepts? Which dominates more to become a best DE? That's like asking like, which leg do you need, your left leg or your right leg more? That's what that question is asking. Like to walk, which one do you need more, the left leg or the right leg? Like you need both. Like you can't just like be like if you don't know data concepts and you're good at Python, you're going to be a shit data engineer. If you know Python and you don't know data concepts, you're going to be a shit data engineer. You have to have both. Like you can't just freaking that's just how it is, right? So Hi, Zach. How are you doing? Just asking how to learn soft skills. Any books or learning? Radical Candor. Radical Candor is a really, really good book that you can read. Radical Candor is probably one of my favorite books of all time. That book changed my life forever. I feel like two books: How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie and Radical Candor. Those two books are like, if you just read those two books over and over and over again. I've read How to Win Friends and Influence People like 7 times. So like sometimes it's not about reading more books, it's about reading the same book again because it has very, very powerful lessons. And that's what I've been doing to like make my soft skills better. Been watching for a minute. Recently landed a software engineering co-op. Amazing, good work, Jalen. That's freaking really awesome. Like I love to hear like the outcomes that what happens for people and stuff like that. That stuff's really cool. Like I really, it makes me really smile when I see like other people who are able to like find success and they're able to grind and they're able to build their skills, right? And yeah, the AI bootcamp is going to be really, really awesome. Like, so I'm just gonna share my screen real quick and we're gonna kind of like let me yeah, there we go. Let's go to data expert. So if we go to here's the kind of like what we're going to be going over here, right? So we have a bunch of different sections here. So there'll be like a mix of prompt engineering and advanced RAG and ML ops and RAG basics. And we're going to do end-to-end AI applications. And then also tech talks are going to be great. We're going to have like Carly Taylor and a bunch of other really awesome industry leaders. And then so in each one of these sections, we're going to be building out a project. So like, for example, with prompt engineering, we're going to be working on like a resume reviewer. So it will be like you upload your resume and then like we're going to essentially play around with that prompt until like we get it to give us really good feedback in a very structured way. Because at the end of the day, like AI is good, but one of the things that really sucks about AI is that like it doesn't give you structured output, right? You have to work with the data. Like it gives you just a giant string, right? And you have to learn how to like work with structured output. That's going to be really awesome. And then when we get into advanced RAG, so advanced RAG and agentic AI, this is where we're going to be like walking through a code base, and we're going to like essentially we're going to put a code base into like into RAG and be able to like query it and understand more. This will be kind of like a mixture of this with GitHub has an MCP server, and we're going to be using the GitHub MCP server to like open pull requests and actually like have our AI go from just like interpreting things to actually like doing things. And then ML ops will be interesting because with ML ops, like this is very important, a very important segment about like how to build evaluation criteria so that we can make sure that our pipelines are safe and secure and not hallucinating. Because like at the end of the day, there's a bunch of different types of evaluation criteria, right? You have like, is it factual? Is your AI doing its job? Is it effective? Is it making the business money? It's another one that's important. And then also, is it safe? Is it not telling like people to kill themselves and stuff like that? That's another very important thing that we want to prevent and using ML ops will be another important thing that we'll be covering quite a bit in this bootcamp. It should be really amazing. And then we have end-to-end applications will be the other big thing where we tie it all together, and then you will have your own kind of product. So like some people might not have the skills necessary to do a lot of these full stack applications because you do need Python skills to like build full stack applications. So you will get immediate access. If you buy right now, you'll get immediate access to Full Stack Expert. And this is where you can learn how to build full stack applications. And you could over the next 3 weeks, like grind through this content. So you'd be way more ready to build on October 20th. That would be a really solid approach. And then you also get access to the previous cohort, the previous July 7th cohort's material. So you can kind of like look through some of the stuff. We are going to be revamping a lot of this content as well. So yeah, it should be pretty sick. I'm pretty excited about it. Like there's going to be some really, really good stuff here, right? Is your AI bootcamp will be also for beginner in AI? Well, as long as you know Python, like beginner in AI, as in like you don't need to know that much about AI, but you need to know how to build freaking materials. I mean, you need to know how to build with Python. If you are like an absolute coding beginner, it's not for you. It's definitely not for you. You will hate it. I do plan on taking course, but the materials from the shorts alone help tremendously. Amazing, Jalen. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I've been trying to make more shorts. I need to get back into the short game. I'm coming up short on the shorts right now. You know, that's like right. But like, you know, it's going to be a good time. Like, and if you guys, we are going to be offering partial scholarships to this, right? So like, if you are interested in any partial scholarships, you can go to dataexpert.io/scholarships, and that's where you can apply for a scholarship as well. Like we might be able to get you 50% off, or like for a couple of you, we'll be able to give you a full ride as well, so you can learn AI skills essentially for free. But keeping in mind that like we're only going to be picking like 10 or 20 people with that, and thousands and thousands and thousands of people will apply. So partial scholarships, we are a lot more lenient on, because like if you are able to contribute something, then that makes it a lot easier for me as an educator to bring you in. So definitely, I highly recommend checking out this bootcamp. Should be really, really such a really good time, right? Let's see what Rockhound's saying. Hi, Zach. Would you recommend to go for the Databricks Professional Data Engineer Certificate as a fresher who got some internship experience as well with Databricks to land a job? Like, do whatever you want to do, bro. Like, certifications are just pieces of paper. They're just pieces of paper that show, hey, I have this skill. The piece of paper doesn't matter that much. How you get the skill is the end of the day, right? So it's like, do you think that you're going to be interested in actually doing that, like, and going through the materials? Maybe. I would recommend maybe doing that. Like, I don't know. Like, it all depends. If you're interested in doing it and that's what you think will make you learn faster, then do it. If not, then do it for free. Use YouTube videos. Take my free bootcamp. Like, there's so many different freaking ways that you can learn, right? Hey, Zach, I'm currently at Uber and we have a ton of internal tools. I love Uber. Uber's so great. They're like such a real-time company, and they like really take data engineering so seriously. I really appreciate Uber. How can I make sure that the experience using those internal tools is transferable to other tech companies? Example, Uber orchestration versus Airflow. I mean, like, you know the answer to this, bro. You know the answer to this. 100% know the answer to this. Like, you know that like Airflow is easy as fuck. You already know that. Like, and you're at Uber, right? You already know that Airflow is easy as fuck. And so if you already know that, then like, what are we trying to do here, right? It's like the distributed compute. I'm guessing Uber uses Flink or Spark or freaking something like that. It probably uses, that piece is probably open source still, right? That piece is probably still open source, but like the orchestrator is usually not. Like, the orchestrator is generally not as that way, right? So like, can you chain a set of tasks together? You want to just be thinking about this stuff at a very high level, right? It's like, can you chain a set of tasks together and schedule it? Building a DAG is not hard. Building a DAG is really not hard, right? That's like, when I think about all the pieces of data engineering, like that piece is actually probably one of the most simple pieces, right? Like, I mean, if they were using more proprietary things in other places, right? Yeah, Presto is fine. Okay, Presto is fine. It's SQL, Trino, Presto, BigQuery, Snowflake are all the same damn thing. And Databricks SQL, Presto, Trino, Snowflake, Databricks SQL, same thing, right? They're all exactly the same. It's like distributed SQL, right? And they might have some tiny nuances around the edges that are a little bit different. And guess what? You can chat GPT that. But at the end of the day, you need to know about like item potency and like how to make things like run like a mathematical function, and how to make things backfillable, and like system design, data architecture, those things that are like that are the fundamental components of tying all the stuff together. That's really like what you want to be like really deeply kind of like focusing on, because that's really where you're going to like find like the biggest bang for your buck is going to be in that space, for sure. Like, all same damn thing. Shit, they are. It's just freaking different flavors and different branding, dude. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, like everyone thinks that I think people believe that there is 10,000 data engineering technologies. They think, or 5,000 or 1,000 data engineering technologies, but there really isn't. Like, at the end of the day, if you think about it at a very fundamental conceptual level, right? You have a compute mechanism, something to crunch the data. This is either going to be a distributed compute mechanism like Spark or BigQuery or Snowflake, or it might be a single node compute system like Python code or Pandas or Polars or Postgres, right? And it's going to be one of those two. It's either going to be distributed or not distributed, right? And then, okay, we got our compute figured out. Okay, that's one. Okay. Then you have the second piece, right? Which is the orchestration layer, which is essentially like, how is the automation happening? This is cron at the end of the day. Can we run pipelines on a day-to-day basis? Just 1, 2, 3, daily, right? And if you can understand cron, you understand Airflow, you understand Uber's orchestration, you understand freaking whatever, they're all there. right? It's fine. Um, and then so you have compute, orchestration, and then another big one is storage, right? So storage has two pieces to it, right? It has metadata management, and then it has the actual file store. So the metadata management piece is going to be something like Iceberg, Hive, Delta Lake, or Huddy. That's generally it's going to be one of those four. And then you have the actual like storage layer, which is going to usually be like S3, uh, Azure, or Google. They both have their own file system. It's usually going to be S3, Azure, or Google. Or like if you're like old school, maybe like Hadoop, right? That's going to be the four like storage layer components, right? You have like the physical storage of actually storing the files. You have the metadata of those files. You have the orchestration layer, which is like Airflow, Dagster, Prefect, Mage, Databricks workflows, all those freaking same fucking technologies. And then you have compute, right? And like the only other thing in this space really, right, is going to be like, okay, that's going to be for like a poll architecture or like a freaking batch, like batch pipelines. And then you have a push architecture, right? It was going to be more pub sub, which is going to be like, that's where you're going to need to know things like Kafka, because then your storage, you have an upstream storage, which is going to be Kafka. And then you're going to need, or maybe Rabbit, probably Kafka or Rabbit. And then you have the real-time engine, which is going to be like Flink, Spark Streaming, or ClickHouse, maybe Flink, Spark Streaming, ClickHouse. And there's other ones. They're like single store, and like there's a bunch of like real-time things there, but it's like a real-time compute engine, right, in that space. And then that will all usually write out to data at rest, and that will go back to like Iceberg or freaking Delta Lake or whatever. Like it's going to go back to like the S3 files at the end of the day, because like you don't hold on to all the data in a push architecture. You usually end up pushing it into some sort of like data table at the end of the day that is like a slower moving entity, because like you don't want to store so much data in Kafka. So yeah, that was a long rant, but that's literally what I believe. So like there's not 1,000 technologies. There's six, right? And if you can learn the six, then like it doesn't matter, man. Like I know I could go and teach BigQuery tomorrow, even though I like have very, very, very rarely used BigQuery. I know I could teach it tomorrow. Like it would not be that bad. So Kushagra, what do you think is the future of DuckDB as data everywhere is moving towards big data, DuckDB being columnar and having limitations? Do you think it's sustainable? Yes, it is sustainable because DuckDB, like, okay, think about it this way. Like my company makes millions of dollars a year, right? My company makes millions of dollars a year, right? And if you take all of the data that my company has generated, all of it, every last drop of data that my company has generated, it's 25 meg or 25 gigs, 25 gigabytes of data. That's how much data my multi-million dollar company has generated. Okay. And 25 gigs of data is nothing, right? Even for DuckDB. 25 gigs is literally nothing, and it's way faster, right? At the end of the day, like when people say moving towards big data, yeah, there are some companies that have terabytes and petabytes of data. Correct. There are some companies that do that. Most do not. Most companies do not have that, right? So you got to be able to like understand that like every technology has a place. It's the same reason why Spark is not the best choice for everyone either. Because if you have small data, Spark is terrible, right? DuckDB makes Spark look like a freaking old grandpa, right? So, but at bigger scales, DuckDB fails and Spark looks amazing, right? So it's like, it's not like you got to be thinking about things more freaking from another perspective, right? A perspective of like, well, DuckDB can support about a terabyte of data. And keep in mind, in 3 years, my company has generated 25 gigs in 3 years. So that means in 30 years, my company should generate 250 gigs. So that means that like DuckDB would be suitable for my company for the next 30 years. Seems sustainable to me. I don't know. That's that would be my perspective on it. Like yeah, if you guys are interested, like you can actually get let me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Like gonna get you guys some interesting discounts that you can work on. Well, let's see here. Musab, you're saying I completed your community bootcamp, learned so much, and already applied these skills. You're awesome. I am good with PySpark now, but really confused where to start with Python DSA for data eng. Just grind LeetCode. Just go and fucking grind LeetCode. It's not any different than for software engineering. It's the same. Just go grind LeetCode. Just don't focus as much on LeetCode hard and focus more on LeetCode medium. Right? Is the data engineer on demand course no longer available? I was planning to get it in a few weeks. Yeah, it's available. You can just go to the link, right? Like you just have to like right now I'm like my landing page is really focused on making AI bootcamp sales. And the problem is if I have the on demand course right next to the AI bootcamp and they're like, "Ooh, should I pay $3,000 for the AI bootcamp or should I pay $200 for the course?" And guess what? People just don't choose either. They just don't buy, right? And so you can still get it though, right? If you want to, like what you can do, right, is like here I'll show you. So if you go to what all access, you can go here, right here. I'll put the link in here right now. You can go right here, all access data expert IO subscription right there. That's where you can find it. You can Google that too, and you'll find it, right? Sridhar, you're saying I have an interview. 1 second. Oh, stop sharing. I have an interview for a DE role. I want to know how you think when solving data modeling problem. How do you approach it? I would just not like what I would end up doing is I'm not going to go over all of this with you. I would say you want to go to my my newsletter, and then there should be. Just give me a second. Data modeling. So I have this one here. This how to pass the data modeling round in big tech data engineering interviews. I would just go over this. This is a great freaking place to start. Like, and so it's how to pass the data modeling round. I would go here and just freaking give me my $10 and freaking subscribe. And this will freaking help you a lot in getting there. So like blog.dataexpert.io. If you go to blog.dataexpert.io, you can find this data modeling interview. You have to scroll down a bit. I wrote it like, but this is kind of old. This is September 2023, but it hasn't changed. It hasn't fundamentally changed at all, like in that time. So okay. Let's see here. Raha or Raja saying it seems that demand for SaaS and data analytics is not very high. What is the future of SaaS? It's gonna be one of those technologies that like people like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, see, Pradeep saying, I bought his subscription, but honestly, the price is too high. I picked all the topics and repos. I'm using AI to learn. Good stuff, though. See, it's good stuff, right? I'm freaking learning, dude, and it's not that much money, dude. I don't know, like, again, like you're probably in India, and that's probably why you think it's high. That's all. It really depends on the country that you live in, like 100%. So, can I land a data engineering role as a fresher graduate? Probably fucking not. Like, there's probably like a 10% chance you can get a role as a fresher. Cause like at the end of the day, like freaking like data engineering roles there's not that many. Most companies have like 2 or 3 data engineers, and they're not going to have, if you're a company that has 1 data engineer, are you going to be like, yeah, we're going to have that data engineer be junior? Like, and there's just one of you. Like, they're not going to do that. Not going to do that. Like it's like you need to freaking like maybe start as a software engineer or maybe start as a data analyst, things like that. Like that'd be the way I'd be thinking about it. But like if you guys are interested for the length of this call, like if you go to dataexpert.io/Q3, you can actually get 40% off the data the AI bootcamp, the AI engineering bootcamp starting in a couple weeks. One of the best deals you can find right now. See, what's your best advice for growing in big tech? Working hard. I mean, like, I don't know, like, and also like understanding that it's political, understanding that like it's not always about like how many lines of code you write, but also about like what yeah, so it's not all about how many lines of code you write, it's about the impact you have and the perception, because keeping in mind it's not just about like what you're doing and like how like what your impact is, but also like how people perceive your impact. Because if they perceive your impact, it's going to be better, right? It's going to be one of those things where like I've always found that to be like one of the things that's really bullshit about big tech, right? And I think it's probably one of the reasons why I left, is that like you have to really work on getting the perceptions right and getting people to be like, hey, I did a good job, right? And you have to market yourself really well internally. And if you do that, then you're going to be probably better off, right, than working hard, like working more hard. Like if you have the decision between like doing another project or publicizing the project you've already done, always publicize, always like market yourself better, because marketing is going to get you further than working more and doing more projects. That'd be the big thing that I would recommend to kind of think about. So yeah, I mean, what else we got here? Courtney, advice for someone who works in a public sector and is extremely behind the times with all the data and tech stacks. Take my boot camp. I don't know, like I got to. Like, it depends on like what your goals are. What do you if you're behind? Like, I mean, how are you behind? Like, you're kind of behind. Like, you don't work at Meta, right? And you don't work on petabyte data sets. Like, sure, and by that scale, most people are behind, right? But you're not that behind. I mean, start working with LLM. You can literally start working with LLM tomorrow. Ask LLM like how to catch up. Like, literally use AI to freaking learn how to catch up. That's like one of the reasons why I'm kind of like near the end of my education time, right? Is because AI is going to be a better educator than me, right? So like freaking at the end of the day, like AI is going to be able to give you a very customized, very beautiful learning plan that is going to be exactly what you need to learn, and it's going to be so personalized and so amazing, right? That like at the end of the day, it's going to make my kind of like my one size fits all boot camp look a little bit more archaic, right? So yeah, definitely do that. Uh, Ethan, where do you see opportunities to build SaaS products in data engineering, or are there decent opportunities in consulting? There's amazing opportunities in consulting. Do you know how many businesses don't freaking like do their data right? Like most companies still are so far behind with their data, so far behind with their data, right? So like I would definitely recommend thinking about that, right? About like what is going on with data, right? Because it's at the end of the day, it's like if you help a company get their data right, you help them get their AI right, and if you get their AI right, you get their decision making right, and if you get their decision making right, you get you essentially made them an automated money machine, right? So that would be the way I would be thinking about it, right? Courtney, you're saying thanks, Zach. Lots of red tape in government with procurement of the best products. Yeah, I mean that's why my bootcamp kind of like and my subscription product really helps with that because like at the end of the day, like if you look at the subscription product, like you can see like here's the subscription product. Like when you what is it freaking oh yeah, it's right here. There we go. So the subscription product you'll notice has access to Databricks, Astronomer, Discord, GitHub, AWS, OpenAI, and Snowflake. So like you can get access to the latest and greatest technologies really quickly if you freaking if you want it, right? And like you just get immediately access, right? Yeah. It's not cool to speak bad about me because I'm from India. I'm not speaking bad about you because you're from India. It's because there's a thing called purchasing power parity. Purchasing power parity is different, right? Because in India, rupee, the income and the rupee and the dollar just have a different conversion rate, right? And it's not about speaking bad. It's just the reality of the matter that like $800 to someone in America versus $800 to someone in India is a very different amount of money. That's not bad. That's just the reality of the world. Sridhar, just to add to what you told, I joined as a data engineer right after finishing undergrad. Lots of words here. SQL chops is one thing, but you have to know how distributed compute work and really know the trade-offs. Yeah, take my free boot camp. The community boot camp is where you can learn the trade-offs. The trade-offs that's exactly where you should learn the trade-offs. Like, yep, that's like just do that. Just freaking do that. Like, and that will allow you to like really find the path that you're seeking, the path that you're looking for, right? I mean, just like I offer so much for free. All right, so Zaire, if I'm working with ETL pipelines daily and I'm interested in learning more, am I better off doing learning materials or sinking my time learning my work's code base and all? Like, depends. That's you need to know yourself. You need to know yourself. Like that's not there's not one way or another, and it depends on your company. If your company has a good open learning culture, then that would be great. But if they don't, then freaking it's not good, right? It's gonna be the trade, right? That's the trade that you want to be thinking about. And so that would be I don't know. That's my perspective on things. Like I would probably lean towards work experience. I would if you were already working on a day-to-day job, I would do that. I'd probably lean towards that. But like, I mean, sometimes you're going to work at a company like that woman who was working in government, where it's just like you're working with literally like dinosaur technologies, and like you're not gonna ever get the opportunity to freaking work with the good, hot, latest and greatest technologies. And if that's what you desire, then you're going to need to do that, right? You're going to need to actually like learn on your own time. One second. Okay, there we go. The analytics engineering V1 bootcamp helped me a lot, Zach. Wanted to mention that. Same with the mentorship sessions. You should do like a 6-month graduate check-in or something. Yeah, get a feedback pipeline. 100%. I need to do more of that. Like I freaking like It's a lot. It's like trying to re-engage people and get people back around and see what's happening. It's really cool to see like the success criteria of people and like seeing what's happening. Right? Do you resume review for data engineer? People want me to do that for free. And if you were here, I roasted everyone's freaking. I roasted people's LinkedIn for freaking like 2 hours, like a couple days ago. That was pretty fun. That was actually one of the more fun features I've done in like a while. Like I find that to be it's pretty freaking great. It's pretty freaking great, but I'm not gonna review your resume, like, because you're probably gonna want me to do it for free. So, yeah, nah. But like, it is what it is. AI is coming quick, y'all. I hope y'all can like take me up on this offer of freaking learning AI together, right? So if you want to like either get 50% off or 40% off the the AI bootcamp or the subscription product, you can go here, right? Yeah. Let's see here. Is it worth creating a tech blog? Always. I can afford to buy your stuff. I just don't like the cost. Okay, great. Thank you. Is it worth creating a tech blog? Obviously, that's why you're here. I've been blogging about tech for years, right? And that's literally it's literally what it's about, right? So like definitely I would recommend writing more, because at the end of the day, there's so many engineers who are good at writing code, but they're terrible at communicating. And so the blog is going to be like a good way to like learn how people freaking actually respond. And then you can actually do that to like actually build into things, right? So that's going to be the way that I would imagine things to be working. So that would be my strategy there, right? So like I would say that that's going to be the big thing, right? I will inbox you, not for free. Thanks, Zach. Okay. Yeah. But I would say like if you write a tech blog, you should definitely do that, because like at the end of the day, tech blogs are really, really good. Like let me show you what I mean. So can we go like okay, so this is my tech blog, right? We just go to the home. So you'll see like right now my tech blog makes me about $50,000 a year. It's pretty fun. Like and so like 166,000 subs, right? It's pretty great. And so like it's pretty fun. Like, and then I just post, right? And I get my articles out there. Substack is really where you want to be like setting stuff up, right? That would be the way to do it, right? I'm taking your free boot camp and I'm hoping a job. Can you speak how much it will be possible? Yeah, it's going to be definitely possible. Like especially like if you actually finish it, right? Right. What's the difference between a blog and a newsletter? They're about the same thing. The only difference really is that newsletter is going to go directly to someone's email, and a blog is usually doesn't go to someone's email. That would be the difference that I would be thinking about, right? And so, yeah, that would be my perspective of like how things would be going. All right. Yeah, it's pretty great. Like, so in terms of like the free boot camp getting you a job, it might get you a job. Obviously, it's free, so like I'm definitely no guarantees, right? But I've seen many people who have landed jobs by like actually dedicating themselves to the boot camp and actually learning. Because at the end of the day, 98% of people give up. So like one of the things that I think people don't understand about like learning a skill and learning stuff is that like most people give up. Most people give up pretty quickly, and since they give up quickly, it's like freaking, what are you doing, man? Like freaking, that's the like the bar is not very high to freaking shine, right? It's really not. Like it's like if you want to like actually get further along in your life, it's not very high to shine, right? Any tips on writing a blog? Do we have to talk only about niche stuff or be general like learning SQL basics? It depends on where you're at in your journey. Just talk like honestly, it's not about what you want to talk about, right? Like don't think about it that way. Like because it's like at the end of the day, like I've been talking mostly about freaking data, right? Data stuff. And that's like what I mostly talk about, right? And like I've shifted a little bit towards AI because like I think that it's a shiny new place that's interesting. But I still like talk about data about 80% of the time, right? So it's like you talk about like if you're trying to build a blog, you want to talk about the things that you can consistently talk about, whether that be SQL basics, whether that be something a little bit further, right? It's great. Yeah, it's freaking it's really good. Um so here, do big tech recruiters and engineers care about your writing tech blogs? They can, right? Yeah, Pradeep. I didn't know that you were in the US, bro. Like you just said you were in India and purchasing power parity. You literally said you lived in India if you go back up like 100%. Um I think recurring streams of LinkedIn roast would be fun. I can't do it that much, dude. It's one of those things that like I can do it every once in a while, but it's not in me to freaking do it very much more than that. when you talk about shining to get roles, can you give me some examples, or just freaking learn more, build more, like work on a okay, here's the thing. Some people think a capstone project is something that you hack on over a weekend. And then they're like, look at my beautiful capstone project, right? So my capstone project, I worked on every weekend for a year, right? And that capstone project is what got me in at Meta, right? Was that I worked on a capstone project every weekend for a year. For 52 weekends, I worked on a project, right? So like, can you do that? Like, just do that. Like, and just invest more than anyone else. Like, work so hard that it would be unreasonable that you wouldn't be successful, right? And like, just realize that want it more than everybody else, right? That's the way that you want to be thinking about things, right? Is like, how can you shine your determination and your skills and your grit, and like show that like you will be successful. You will like pull yourself into success. You will drag yourself into success, right? That's going to be the way that you really, really shine, right? And that's going to be like, you have to just keep focusing and just invest more hours. That's how it works. It's how life works, right? It's whoever invests more hours, that's going to be the way to do it, right? Banu, you boot camp, yeah. Like if you're interested, everyone, like right now we are working on, we're doing a thing here, right? So dataexpert.io/Q3, you can get 40% off the AI bootcamp. It's gonna be the best deal that you can possibly get. This is valid till the end of the day, so I definitely recommend taking it out. And like you can get in for like $2,000. Should be pretty great. It's actually under 2,000. It'll be like 1,800. 1,800 what you can get in at, and that's freaking 5-week boot camp. It's freaking, you're gonna learn a lot. It's gonna be really, really solid. I'm really excited to see where people can get to with all of this stuff, right? And so definitely, like I would highly recommend it. And like AI is changing things. It's really like we're gonna have this shift, right? We have this shift that's happening where like everyone's a little bit nervous about losing their jobs and all this stuff, but like at the end of the day, it's more of a massive opportunity in front of us than anything else. So here, as a recent grad, I feel overwhelmed by the wide tech stack and data engineering analyst roles. Should I focus on mastering SQL and Python first while keeping lighter exposure to other tools? Yep, nailed it. Master the language first, and then master the language of the trade first, SQL and Python, and then start building with tools. Best advice to get into big tech in 2025, 2026, like master, like you need to like have a good LinkedIn presence. You need to be able to get networks and referrals, right? And like, because it's a lot harder to apply nowadays because people just like get filtered out very quickly because like AI at big tech, the AI resume filtering is really, really good. So like you need to be able to get your foot in another way. That's going to be probably the biggest thing I would recommend. It's not about what you know, it's about who you know. So like really start to provide value on LinkedIn and try to find people who would give you a referral and get you in that way. That's going to be probably the number one advice I have. Then you have like to actually pass the interview. So you need to like really be good at SQL, have SQL down solid, be able to write SQL in your sleep. Data modeling, everything that you need to know about data modeling, go and crush that as well. If you do all those things, you'll be able to freaking really get to a really solid place that will get you like really far. And I would say that like SQL, Python, data structures, data modeling, data architecture, like you just got to know a lot of stuff. Like, and then probably have a project that you can talk about as well. That would be the other big thing. You're going to have to do a lot, right? Because keep in mind, big tech rejects 99.5% of people. 99.5. All right. So like if you want to get into big tech, you have to do behaviors that are abnormal, right? Which is going to be, you have to be 1 in 200, right? 1 in 200. Keep in mind that 199 people will get rejected and you'll get accepted. And like, what do you have to do to be different from 199 people? That's a lot of people, right? So like you want to be thinking about like, how can I be an abnormal freak? How can I like show my skills in a way that really goes there? Is there any age limit in Fang Company? I mean, I would say that like there's kind of an age limit in the fact that like there's like there is some ageism. There is ageism in freaking the in big tech, but like I would say like 45. Like really, if you're older than 45, it's probably going to get harder. It'll probably be harder to get a job at Meta. But yeah, is it hard to network with people at Netflix? Yes, Netflix is literally the hardest one to get into because they have the fewest seats. Like, and they pay the most. They pay the most, have the fewest seats. It's the hardest one to get into, right? The only company that was probably harder to get into than Netflix is OpenAI. Like, I'd say that those are going to be the two that would be the big thing to be thinking about. How can I stand out more through LinkedIn communities or creating a blog? It depends on what your skills are, man. Honestly, depends on what your skills are. Like you should know that about yourself. Like, and like you try them out, try all three out. Like you're trying to optimize, you're trying to min max right now, which is not the mentality that you want to be having. You should be thinking about what is the absolute most that I can do. Can you post every day on LinkedIn? Can you go to community events, once a week? Can you write a blog once a week? Can you every day on LinkedIn, once a week blog, once a week community event? So at the end of the month, you'll have 4 blogs, 4 community events, and 30 LinkedIn posts. And can you do that? Like that's not that much work. That's honestly not that much work. That's probably like 20 hours of work, right? And can you work 5 hours a week on your dreams? Then do all of them, right? That would be my perspective. And then you'll figure out pretty quickly what things are serving you and what things are not serving you. Because some people get more value out of events. Some people get more value out of in-person networking. Some people get more value out of content creation. It just depends on who you are as a person, man. Like if you started over, you still go to big tech, or would you become entrepreneurial sooner? I mean, I probably would still go into big tech because it's like freaking big tech was really sexy and captivating. And like, I probably would have left because, in my journey, I had a moment when I quit Netflix back in 2020 where I told people I was going to be famous. And then I went to Airbnb, and I would have changed that aspect. I probably would have left Netflix and gone immediately into entrepreneurship instead of leaving Netflix and then going and working at Airbnb. That would be the only change I think I would have. I still would have done 4 years. I would have done 2 years at Meta, 2 years at Netflix, and then freaking in 2020 started my creator journey, right? If you don't have a bachelor's, would you go back and get one in CS, EE? I mean, if you have a different bachelor's, if you have another technical bachelor's like physics or electrical engineering, I guess you're thinking electrical engineering. If you have like physics or mechanical engineering or civil engineering or anything that's like math heavy, like don't get another bachelor's. Like that would be the way that I would do it, right? Any cheat code to network, meet people at Netflix? No, do the hard work. Like cheat codes are freaking not good, dude. Like if you're asking for cheat codes in life, that's just, again, like you guys are asking for shortcuts, and guess what? There's no shortcuts. Like that's not how it works. It's not how it works. Like like if you want to try to like zoom in, obviously Jorge, like you could, like I could introduce you to people at Netflix, but like I would need to know who you are. And I would need to know like why should I take a risk on Jorge? Why should I risk my reputation on Jorge? Like why should I do that, right? And if your answer is I want cheat codes, like I definitely don't want to take a risk on you, because that sounds like you're trying to take shortcuts and you're a little bit lazy. So when you started coding, did you struggle with it at the beginning? No, I immediately found it. It was like writing English for me immediately. Like in other people, it's different. Like different people's minds are more adapted or not adapted to programming. So, and that's fine. Like some people, it takes them a little bit more, right? So that'd be good, right? That'd be really, really good. That's gonna be the way that I would imagine things, right? We're gonna freaking have to we're gonna block that guy on YouTube. Yeah, bye bye. Thank you. Okay. Why would they hire someone that's looking for a cheat code? Exactly, Matthias, right? With the layoffs, what roles would one pursue if they complete the AI engineering program? AI engineer. Or like, I mean, it depends on what your background. I know Kanika, I know that you're more like in the product space and that you have more of like the soft skills, product manager skills. And like if you're in that space, like what I would recommend is going to be like probably more like AI PM. You could be an AI PM. That's where like it's a little bit tricky, right? For like the matching of like my stuff and this, right? So what you want to be thinking about here is like AI skills are going to be very useful, right? And so like in the future, all jobs are going to have AI skills in them. So like it's another way of like getting ahead of the curve. Like it's not just going to be AI engineer. Right now it's AI engineer, but by 2030, every job is going to have freaking AI in it. Every single job, right? I love AI PM work. Yeah, and I think AI PM work is going to be a big future. That's going to be a gigantic future that I would imagine that's going to be a big part of it, right? So I want to be more technical now. Yeah, for sure. Be more technical. Grow into the stuff, Kanika. I think that like that's a big part of like this future world, right? Where like it's like the technical people, like that's why vibe coding is so interesting, right? Because it's like if you're already technical, vibe coding is very good. But if you're not technical, vibe coding can be very challenging, right? It can be a very challenging space, right? Any updates on sponsorship applications for AI Bootcamp? To 5,000 people applied, so you probably didn't get in. But I will let you know soon enough. Like there's a less than a 1% chance you got in. I'm picking people probably in a week or so. Like I'm waiting for more people to come in, like waiting for more applications. Like I'm not just going to be picking people like like obviously I want to like get as many people as I can, so we can have a good email list for people who are interested in joining. We're trying to collect as much hungry students as we can. That would be the perspective that I would be thinking about, right? Have you heard of Lake Sail? Nope. Definitely not heard of it. Rust native Spark replacement, 4x faster for 6% the hardware cost. That just sounds like Photon, right? Photon is the same thing, I guess. Like I would say that, like Alex, the thing about Lake Sail here is it's like probably Photon. What's next for you after the last cohort? I don't know. Like I'm letting the universe guide me. I'm letting the universe guide me, and I'm staying open to opportunities. Like because at the end of the day, I'm done like freaking trying to push all of this forward by myself. And like I think that there's a way to do this with like either another opportunity or like having another person who gives as much of a shit about data expert as I do, right? If I can find that person, that would be amazing. But if not, then I'm open to other opportunities, right? And it will be interesting to see what happens, right? And that's why it's important to like catch this last boot camp, right? Catch this last boot camp and do that, right? Is there any filtering method for the scholarship upcoming boot camp, right? Yeah, like I mean, first off, we are filtering based on need, right? So like because you have to give us your LinkedIn profile, right? And if it looks like you can afford like $2,000, immediately filtered out, right? That's just obvious, right? And then it's like that's going to be the big thing that I would say is it's mostly based on need, right? And then the next big thing that I think is super important is based on like whether or not you would actually be a fit, right? Because there's going to be people who applied who don't know how to code at all, and those people are not a fit. So it's like after need, it's do they have the prerequisite skills? And if they have the prerequisite skills and they can't afford it, then that means that they're probably a better candidate. And that's just those two things together are going to filter out like 90% of the applications. But then we still have hundreds and hundreds of people, and I can't bring on hundreds and hundreds of people. So then from there, we essentially look at the individual circumstances of each people. And it's kind of a vibe at that point. It's a vibe after that. Like there's not as much of a filtration process after that. It's mostly like a vibe, and it's a little bit of a luck process at that point, right? That'd be the way that I would be thinking about it. AWS data engineer or Azure data engineer. It depends on where you live. It really depends on where you live. Like if you're in the US, do AWS. If you live elsewhere, maybe Azure. Have you heard of an SQL software engineering role? Yeah, that can be the case. That's kind of like data engineering, but it's probably a little bit more like back end, I guess. Would you be interested in writing a book or doing an AI data engineering conference? I've done data engineering conferences and AI engineering conferences. I've definitely done that. Like writing a book sounds interesting. I just freaking like the thing about writing a book is it's just like a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work, and it's like very introverted, right? And I'm not that introverted of a person. I like to really work with people. I like to actually like work with people. That's a big thing I like to do. And so like writing writing in a corner and freaking like doing that just doesn't sound like it. Sounds very against my natural energy flow. So I think that's one of the reasons why I haven't written a book so far, is for that reason. So yeah, book writing is hard. It is totally hard, right? So if y'all are interested in celebrating Q3 with me, you can get 40% off the subscription product or the AI bootcamp right now with code Q3. Q3 is going to be the way that you would do things. Rockhound. My thesis for car manufacturer consists of creating an ETL pipeline and system architecture for an outdated model, now using Iceberg Trino. Would you consider it as something solid? That's perfect. That's very good. That's very, very good. If you actually have like the upstream data and you have that all modeled out, that's freaking a very, very good project. I would highly recommend that like if more and more people built projects like that, you would get some stuff, right? Yeah. A book would be legendary. Yeah, it would be. And it's like, so would freaking, like, I don't know, like what's another thing that takes a lot of effort? Climbing Mount Everest. Climbing Mount Everest would be freaking epic as well, right? It's just like, yeah, 100%. It's just like, it's something that takes like 6 months of consistent effort to really do right. Right. And like, it's one of those things that like, I think I would just get very nervous about like the overhang of like when you're like halfway through, right? Right. How do you truly learn without losing focus? Like having like understanding that you can only really learn in like 30-minute segments, right? If you do like a Pomodoro technique is really good at that, and giving your brain a 5 or 10-minute rest in between the 30-minute sessions to like relax, right? That would be the big thing that I would be thinking about. Yeah, Kanik, you're saying book deals are a lot of work, and they scam you, dude. Like it's like if I wanted to go write an O'Reilly book, right? O'Reilly takes 90%. They take 90% of the profit, right? And you take 10% as an author. And they take 90% and you write the entire book. Yeah. I'm in a job search. Would you have advice? I have to be around Bay Area to be able to connect to hiring managers. That would help. If you're in person, that's going to help. Like, I would say that still online networking is still going to be great, right? That's going to be the way to do it, right? Right. Hi, Zach. Thank you for your videos. I'm thrilled to be interviewing with Netflix. In your video, you highlighted a mentor who had a big impact on your journey. How did you find them? They were my manager at Meta, and I just had a ton of energy, and they loved my energy. And so, like, and then that manager became my mentor at Netflix, and he was my mentor at Meta as well. Like, it's just like I made him look really good because I landed a lot of impact. So there was a big win-win situation. As a data engineer who transitioned from an intern to a junior, what key metrics should I look to measure my growth? How much are you growing? Like, what kind of how complex of the data sets are you working with? If you're working with like single source data sets, you're really flatlining your career. How much technologies are you working with? Are you working with like more of the, are you working in the cloud? I would say that those are probably the big things I would be thinking about. Um, Amar, for creating a personal brand, would you create career growth content or technical content? Technical content doesn't do as well, I assume. I don't know why you believe that. Like, I think that it really depends. Like, I think my most viral content is technical content. So like I don't know if I would agree with this, Amar. Right? I'm definitely more technical content, but like at the end of the day, like career growth content has more emotion to it. It has more like it's appealing more to not just the mind but also to the heart. Like, you can do it too, right? Yeah, that'd be a good way. Other than LinkedIn posts, any other suggested methods for online networking? Yeah, like go to forums, find communities. Like, if there's a community called Data Engineer Things, or my Discord community, the Data Expert Discord community, like go in there, talk with people, be like, hey, like I'm interested in like learning and growing in these places. Like, can you guys teach me like what you know? And try to find that. Like, in my community, there's a Bay Area or like a whatever city you're in. There's a place for that, right? So I would say that, like, yeah, that's like a big one. Just remember, you just have to put yourself out there and talk more and freaking like message people and do all those things. And that would be the big thing, right? Did you ever get to work with Doge? I interviewed with Doge, but then they ghosted me. I just had the recruiter screen. I had the recruiter screen, and then they never got back to me. Like, I mean, I'm kind of glad I didn't work for Doge though, because like since everything happened and everything kind of blew up with Elon Musk, it's like freaking like it seems like working for Doge would have been a fucking shit show. It would have been not a good. It would have been not good. Like, I'm glad that I'm not doing that. What type of projects are people building in your data and AI programs? All sorts of stuff. Like, we have someone who wrote like a Formula One racing thing. So it's like it does a real time data processing of Formula One cars, and what it does is like it predicts who's going to win, like as the race is going on. That one was freaking unbelievable when Hitesh built that, and I was like, dude, you just built like the most fucking badass project I've ever seen. And that guy got like a 600% raise from his previous job after like showcasing that project around. People really wanted to hear about that project. People have done a lot of things like with like meme stock trading. Someone built like a meme stock trading bot, and like it was actually profitable for the first month that it ran. That was really cool. A bunch of things like sentiment analysis, farming, weather, like so many different projects. Like, my students have built like some of the most amazing things I've ever seen, dude. And like I know I need to like get back to them and get more into that space, because that's really like building projects and all that stuff is really where you freaking you find the most value, right? 100%, 100%. Like, because it's like learning tech is hands-on. Listening to me yap about tech is only going to get you so far, and you really want to like actually find a way forward, So that's what I'd recommend. I'd recommend that that's going to be the big deal, the big dealio. Um, Amazing. Well, everyone, thank you guys so much for showing up today. I really appreciate all of y'all's energy. I hope this was enlightening and that you found some good use and some good information from this. And I'll catch you guys back later. It's good September 29th.